By David Leask. He died at 93, master of a seafaring empire which stretched from the Clyde to the Minch. Victorian steamship tycoon David MacBrayne left his thriving business to his son and namesake in 1907. Soon the fleet, connecting Glasgow to the isles and peninsulas of one of the world's longest coastlines, was to peak at 36 packet ships. It was never to be so big again, even more than a century later. On the eve of the Great Depression, the MacBraynes sold out their family firm. Why? They had failed to raise the finance needed to upgrade their vessels and retain what had become essential for running lifeline ferry services, subsidies. That was 1928. In those days state aid came by way of lucrative contracts to carry the post. Scroll forward 92 years and the issues are the same. How best to put government money into ferries, and how to keep services going when that public funding, and fares, does not prove enough to provide a modern, reliable fleet and port infrastructure. Add in European Union rules on state aid, or at least Scottish interpretation of those rules, and the result is an alphabet spaghetti of businesses and institutions. The row over a contract for 2 new high-tech ferries, with the public purse looking at a potential 9-figure loss, suddenly thrust some of these bodies into the limelight. So who are Old Man MacBrayne's successors? For most Scots, ferries, in the West at least, are synonymous with Carl Mac, in which the Mac still represents Old Man MacBrayne. This, after all, was how Scotland's nationalised ferry company was colloquially known. Now, a company called Cal Mac Ferries Limited, or CML, still operates most ferries on Clyde and Hebridean routes. It is based out of Gourock Ferry Terminal and is owned by a business called David MacBrayne Limited or DML, which is wholly owned by the Scottish Government. CML operates 31 vessels and 27 harbours, almost all of which are owned by another body with an almost identical acronym, CMAL. This is Caledonian Maritime Assets Limited. CMAL, rather than CML, is the direct corporate successor of the old Caledonian MacBrayne Company and it officially lists its foundation as 1889. In effect, CMAL owns most of Scotland's ferries, including 3 operated by private company Serco. On subsidised routes to and from Orkney and Shetland, and many of the nation's ferry ports. Like CML, CMAL is owned by the Scottish Government. This has been how ferries have been run in Scotland since the last year of the old Scottish Executive. CML has secured successive franchises, against private competition, such as Serco, to run services using CMAL assets. Both CMAL and CML are companies, owned by the government, not government departments. CMAL, using government money, has been responsible for investing in ports and procuring. For more on this story, visit the news article link.